Welcome, in front of me is a Xiaomi 15 and today I will show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this phone. So to get started, we're going to open up our settings and we're going to navigate to notification and status bar. And here we have things like notification style. So these are going to change how the notifications right here look like. That's going to be just a very subtle change. These ones are going to be a little bit more condensed, so you will have more visible at the same time. If you have like massive page of notifications, this might be something that you might be interested in checking out. We also have the app notifications. You can hide specific ones so certain applications won't be giving you notifications. Obviously, I recommend going through this right here, as a lot of applications want to notify you and probably click on a bunch of applications that you allow them notification, and it's a mistake. Some of those applications give you pointless clutter on your device and just confuse the hell out of you and what is actually important. So go through here and select any application that you don't want to receive notifications from. So as an example, I don't care about Game Center sending me notifications. Like, what the hell is it going to notify me about? File Manager, another thing. And these are all selected by default. These are pointless things that are toggled on that I would never care to get a single notification from. Oops, another one. Browser shouldn't be notifying me again. The same thing. Music as well. So yeah, just go through this and toggle off a bunch of things that shouldn't really be on. Next, we have the notification kind of style. So right now you can see we have one notification and 3 dots if there is more than one. And you can change it to 3 to be visible or to show none. Unfortunately, there's no option to show a number like some other devices have it. And going back to the main settings page and moving on to the home screen, here we can change the home screen style from up drawer to all the applications being on the middle of your home screen, or the light mode, which would be kind of like an elderly kind of mode. If you have trouble using the device, the icons are too small for you, that might be something that you want to enable maybe. And going back and moving to swipe down on the home screen, here we can change what will happen. So we have App Finder or Notification. This is the default options, and I personally like the default one. But if you want to have the basically a general search instead of this, obviously you can change that. And it looks like the swipe also does matter. So if you swipe from the right side, you get the toggles. If you swipe from the left side, you get notifications. So again, you don't need to swipe from the top. You can just do it at any point. Now moving on to the display and brightness, here we have light and dark mode, so you can choose whichever one you prefer. But something that you usually don't see throughout the setup process, or most people really don't look too deeply into this, would be the dark mode options. And here, wait, is that here? Should be here. There we go. So switch this on, so switch to dark mode, and you have the option to switch from a light to dark mode, from sunset to sunrise, or on a custom timer. So the device will now switch from light to dark at one of these options, and also times. And also you can include individual applications in that thing. Next, scrolling a little bit further down, we have color scheme. This just defines how saturated your display looks like. We have default option as the original Color Pro. We also have Vivid, which adds a little bit more color, a little bit more pop. Saturated, which just adds a little bit more to the pinkish colors right here, as you can see. It's a very subtle difference. Then we have advanced settings, so we can click on this. And we have original, P3, and sRGB. So these are supposedly going to be more calibrated, and you can also obviously tweak it around manually by changing each one of the red, green, and blue colors. Now going back, we also have refresh rate in here, and we have two options, default and custom. Custom will allow you to choose a permanent refresh rate, either 60 or 120, while the default will run at basically both refresh rates at the same time, if that makes sense. So it goes up to 120 when there's content that can basically utilize 120. So if you're starting to scroll, it automatically swaps instantly to 120 to give you smooth motion. And then when there's nothing moving, for instance, like right now, if I'm not scrolling, nothing is moving, it will drop it to below that 120 to preserve battery life. Now this is an LTPO OLED display, so it actually will drop below 60, which gives you better battery life. And you have the option to set it to 60 or 120. These are going to be set refresh rates, so they might not actually give you even as good of a optimization as the default option. There is a chance that maybe 60 will have a better battery life than the default, but 120 most certainly will not, as it forces the device to run permanently at a 120. Next, we have AI image engine. And we have a couple options right here. So we have super resolution. It's just basically an upscaling. So we can toggle that on, though all these options that we have right here will increase battery consumption. So this tries to upscale the image to make it look high resolution. Next, we have the AI HDR enhancement. This is a way to basically try to fake an HDR. It converts standard dynamic range to high dynamic range. It might not be as good as actual high dynamic range, but at least it's got the spirit and tries to improve it in some way. And last, we have the MEMC, which is just a frame interpolation. So it makes the footage look smoother by adding additional frames in between the frames. So for instance, if you had something, some kind of video recording through camera that was maybe recorded at 30 frames, this would then boost it to maybe 60 by adding additional frames in between each one of those 30 frames. So obviously things would start to look smooth, and you have side-by-side comparison. This one would be one of the neater features that I would probably want to use. And again, just like I mentioned before, it will consume more of your phone's battery as it is using processor to achieve this. And the last thing that I wanted to show is going to be under, if I can actually find it, probably also here. Let me quickly check. Nope. So right here, you can change check for full, and we will get this little notification right here, or suggestion, hide full screen indicator. So we have the gesture and buttons right here that you can choose from, and depending on which one you select, you might also have some additional options like hide full screen indicator, which gets rid of this bar at the bottom, and gesture confirmation, and some just information on how to use it. But there we go. Those are all the tweaks and tricks I wanted to show you. So if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.